I have spent 5 years in crypto, all documented in public. At 14 years old, I made my first $1 million from NFTs. Then I made $2.1 million from the Blur airdrop, and then I rolled it into angel checks and seed rounds across the entire space. And throughout chaos, I've just kept stacking venture, airdrops, NFTs, and now Memecoin Trading. And today I've made over $20 million in realized crypto profits. Anyways, what I mean to say is I actually do this shit. In August, I've cleared $1.3 million in profit in just 1 month using these two systems I'm about to hand to you. And for the past 5 years, I've posted 6-figure months like clockwork. Every entry, every exit, and lesson in public. And if you follow me on Instagram or Twitter, you've had seen it in real time. And what's wild is the fact that it's not complicated. It's number 1, boring, and number 2, it's repeatable. And today I'm going to walk you through 2 strategies, both high velocity scalping and my personal strategy, the alpha filter. So guys, in this video, I'm going to give you the exact presets, the exact filters, and decisions I use while trading every single day. It's going to be live criteria you can apply to your trading immediately. So if you're ready to stop gambling and start printing like an operator, lock in and let's begin. So the foundation is obvious, guys. This is your execution stack. If you're trying to swap memes from a wallet UI, you're going to be late, and it's pretty much like bringing a bicycle to a Formula 1 race. You're going to get sandwiched, you're going to miss your fills, and a high-speed trading bot is a non-negotiable. So the simplest solution to that is by using the Axiom trading bot, and why I use it is because it's block native, it routes via private RPC, it doesn't choke when volume spikes, and it offers instant fills when I'm buying and selling any coin, the lowest gas fees, and deep sniper detection. Guys, I've been using Axiom for the past 6-7 months just because it's so good and it never really screwed me over, unlike any other trading bot I've used in the past. So you can head over to Axiom via the link in my description. By using the referral code FORTUNE, you are getting 20% off of all your transactional fees. And this is the lowest rate that anyone can possibly get. I genuinely had to heavily negotiate this deal for both you guys and my community, so use it to your advantage. So once you get into Axiom, you're going to see a lot of tabs: Discover, Pulse, Trackers, Perpetuals, Yield, Vision, Portfolio, and Rewards. And you might be thinking that's a lot of stuff to wrap your head around, but I'm going to go over all of that in a second. To start off, I'm going to go over my personal presets when it comes to trading. So for my buy settings, I have a slippage of 60%, priority, bribe of 0.05. If you're working on a lower size portfolio, I would recommend keeping that on the lower end. I would always recommend keeping MEV protection on so that you don't get sandwiched. And for my sell settings, I have 40% slippage and 0.025 for bribery and priority fees. And just for a quick tip in terms of trading all these new pairs, I would recommend to keep your quick buy sizes small and repeatable. So, I mean, if you see for me, I trade in increments of 4 to even 10 SOL, and that's on high conviction starters, right? So I would recommend never keeping your full stack in one wallet while you're trenching. So I would honestly put a new wallet aside and name that your trench wallet so that you don't blow up your portfolio. So when it comes to trading, there are 2 main strategies I use to make $7,000 a day. And the first strategy is going to be ruthless high velocity scalping. And honestly, guys, scalping is not about high conviction plays all the time. It's not about holding long term. You're pretty much just taking advantage and exploiting short bursts of volume on short-lived narratives. Get in, get out, and stack those consistent wins. That's what builds your portfolio in the first place. You are not here to marry that coin. You're not here to obsess over that one coin. Your goal is to stay liquid and sell to other people on top of their heads who are buying that hype. So every single trade I get into, I ask myself one thing: can I get in before others and sell on their heads before they recognize what's even happening? And I'm being serious. You want other people to hate you when they see your wallet pulling up. So my rules to you is to, number 1, detach from narratives. You're here to be paid, not to be right or moral. Sell on heads, and your goal is to sell into their confirmation, not yours. And then many small wins is way bigger than one hero trade. All those 100x's on social media, wipe that from your head if you're trying to scalp. Compounding those small wins, whether it's going to be 1 to 2 SOL, 5 to 10 SOL, that is the path to victory. So what's the most optimal scalping setup, you might ask? The answer is obvious, right? Your center screen is going to be Pulse. This is the most important thing you guys need for trading all these new pairs. For your side screens, you're going to have Twitter and wallet trackers. That's to keep you in tune with the market. And what I also recommend is to have Discord or Telegram open if you're in really good groups. And your hand is going to be your trigger finger for instant execution right here. So before we actually get into it, I want to preface what you're actually hunting. Scalps that pay, right? So the 3 ingredients for a great scalp is number 1, legit enough to actually trade the coin. You don't want the coin to be an obvious snipe or a bundle trap. For scalps, your speed can beat the bundle, but this is less critical. Why would you get in the trade in the first place if you don't think it's a good play? I think that sometimes the best play is not even trading in the first place. So if you don't think it's a good play, if it's not good art, then don't enter the trade. Number 2, an eye-catching narrative. A story that creates a short window where curiosity outruns supply. The narrative is still number 1, guys, and a real volume spike. So if you can see the flow, wallet stacking, and transaction climbing, okay, maybe something that you can pay attention to is that coin that is rising right there. I don't know how many times I have to say this, but crypto is an attention market, and liquidity follows narrative, and narrative alone determines whether a coin can print. The difference is when you're scalping, you don't need to be as restrictive or selective as you would for long-term plays because you're going in and out more quickly, and your edge really just comes from exploiting these short bursts of attention rather than relying on long-term conviction. So here's the 4-step framework I always use. So number 1, identify the story. Is it authentic or just a recycled copy? And number 2, look for on-chain strength. Are there strong early buys or sharp bounces on dips? And number 3, does this sound like a solid beta play of what's already hot? Is it in the meta right now? Whether it's going to be AI, CCM, politics, whatever. Is it in the meta? And number 4, assess remaining catalysts. Is there anything strong enough to extend this beyond just a few candles? Usually, this answer is no. I mean, 99% of meme coins go to zero, within the first couple minutes. So the reality is most scalps are just grabbing attention and they pump quickly. They're not going to stay high, so take profits and move on. Don't marry these coins. My advice is also to not cope buy into all these forced narratives and don't psyop yourself into thinking that it's a good coin and telling yourself that it's a long-term hold, because that's the reality of how most people burn their wallet. Do you think that there's a lot of meme coins out there that are good, and then they constantly trade and trade and trade? Sometimes the best trade is no trade, and don't go after that dopamine hit, guys. That's how you truly stay consistent as a winner in the market. It's to take profits and move on. So in terms of Axiom tab filters, volume 5,000, market cap 11,000, and transactions maybe 75 to 85 or more. You can set these filters over here in the pulse tab and the filters tab, and by putting in $ metrics, $11,000 market cap. So I can't stress this enough, but when you're scalping, price action is everything. Volume is your lifeline, and you can't exit profitably if there is no liquidity behind you. You should only be scalping coins that have substantial sustained activity, and if you're buying into a coin after its 3rd local top on a fresh pair, odds are that the momentum is already exhausted and there's little juice left to extract. So once you have identified a narrative with attention behind it, the key is to look for moments of early entry, a sudden flash dump or a deep retrace with newly deployed pairs. You don't need to overcomplicate the research, just gauge whether the story has right surface level attention triggers and then size in lightly. For larger market cap coins, I'm saying in the final stretch or migrated section, the play is usually to wait for like a 50 to 80% retrace and then enter on that dip and then take profits quickly on the rebound. Always remember, guys, in either scenario, price action is always dictated by narrative. And if the story is good enough and compelling enough and has the energy in the market, you can confidently top last these entries, provided that you're still on that early volume wave. And before I move on to an actual example, click the link in the description to actually see the full wallet tracker list and Twitter tracker list so that you can import and export some wallets and Twitters that I actually recommend looking at. On top of that, you can follow my Twitter account and look through my following list to get more of a crypto native page so you can stay also more in tune with the market. Now that we got all of that outside of the way, let's go into a personal trade example. So for this example, it's going to be a coin that I traded called Trader's Journey. So over here, I spotted this coin at 44K market cap, and I saw that as a decent potential for a short scalp. I sized in pretty small with 10 SOL, and the narrative was actually pretty good. The narrative was pretty much literally a trader's personal journey trading meme coins from zero to success. And it was part of the CCM meta, which is the creators capital market meta, where people were just streaming on Pump Fund. And I personally thought that it was enough to generate some short-lived attention, so I positioned purely to capitalize off of that volume.
I mean, as you can see, I got in here and then I sold on every single candle up and following the narrative, taking profits. I didn't marry the coin. I just thought it was a good potential to scalp a coin. And honestly, I got what I wanted. So since I positioned purely to capitalize off of that volume, I got a quick exit for a good 3.5x almost, right? And I made an easy 6K. And I mean, you can even look here. I got in with 40K market cap with 10 SOL, and it went all the way up to like 4.43 million, which is over 100x for me, right? So since I positioned purely to capitalize off of that volume, I got a good 3.5x out of that trade, and I made an easy 6.2K. And I mean, if you even look here, I got in at 44K market cap, and it got up to like 4.3 mil market cap, I think. Yeah, like 4.4 mil market cap, which for me would have been like at 100x, right? But what's an 100x? I fumbled like $250,000. That's like $250,000 if I held, right? That's not much, guys, especially in meme coins. I fucking wiped my asshole with $250,000, okay? So this is a good example of a scalp, right? I got in with the attention purely to capitalize off of that short burst of attention. I got what I wanted, a good 3.5x. I made $6,200. And then, I got in at 44K market cap and I exited at around $230,000. And even though the coin went up to 4.3 million, which is pretty much 100x from my initial entry, which I pretty much fumbled $250,000, that's not much, right? I pretty much fumbled $250,000, and that's nothing significant, especially in meme coins, because I quite literally fucking wiped my asshole with $250,000. And if you stick to your principles, you're going to continue stacking these wins rather than hoping for 100x's. So that's why I always stick with my principles, and that's how I have such a high win rate when I'm trading meme coins all the time.
So back to what I was saying about catching a lot of trades. I catch a lot of trades with my group as well. We've been able to generate over 9 figures in collective profit over the past year. For example, Jackson, who hit his first 7 figures, Squid, who bought a Lamborghini, or Bayside, who's a 15-year-old who started with a couple $100 and now is pushing a 300k plus portfolio just by applying some of my scalping strategies.
Entries and exits, the scalper's if-then rulebook. Your entry triggers, choose one per trade. Early ignition for brand new pairs, buy the first big green wave as 1 minute volume explodes. Controlled retrace, after the first spike, buy the 60 to 80% pullback only if volume persists. And the flash dump sweep is to buy the sharp knife drop only if it gets instantly bought up, especially by wallets you respect. Your exit rules. So number 1, to scale into euphoria, sell into their confirmation, big green candles, catalyst news, or if your thesis plays out, target the first retest of the high. Kill on weakness, so if the push stalls and the 1 minute volume dies, exit the trade immediately. No maybes, stick to your principles, and you won't be losing that much money. Don't chase the top, never try to sell the absolute peak, and lock in the base hit profile and move on. So when it comes to risking, a lot of people ask me, okay, like how much I spend into this coin if my portfolio is this much money? My honest answer to that is maybe 5 to 10% of your active port per scalp. And for profit rotation, I always recommend this, whether it's going to be 50 SOL, 100 SOL, 150 SOL, keep a number, right? Once a hot wallet reaches that number or above, sweep your profits into a vault so you're always not going to go below that number. And quality over quantity, right? One good scalp is better than 5 middling gambles. And remember guys, you're trenching. Never trade from a wallet with your entire stack. Enter early or on blood, exit into euphoria, and don't marry bags if I were to just summarize everything for you guys. In strategy 2, this is the alpha filter. This is your high conviction engine, and it is the strategy that has personally scaled me to past 8 figures trading meme coins. And remember, scalping is your cash flow, but the alpha filter is how you actually catch these multipliers, the 3x's, the 5x's, the 100x's even. And the tagline is, I would call it, this 3-stage system that filters 99% of the noise to find the 1% worth touching. Stage 1, market condition check. Your 2 questions should be, is volume flowing? Check your migration rates. Check new deploy buys. Check the volume on chain. What is the dominant narrative? Question 2 is, what is the dominant narrative? Define the meta, AI, political, CCM, etc. The if then is, lots of runners equals risk on signal. If there's weak markets, weak toppers, protect your capital and play conservative. Stage 2 is narrative valuation. Will this coin actually travel? The core principle is new does not equal worthy. grade the candidate across these 3 pillars. Actually be very, very critical with it. Number 1 is reach. Will this hit a big audience, whether it's tech, memes, politics, or is it just an inside joke that no one will understand? Number 2 is reaction triggers. Does it connect to existing memes and drama? Is it unique? Is there background proof, dev tweets, Telegram posts that buys trust? And number 3 is ceiling and shelf life. How far can it realistically run and for how long? When you're in the market for longer, you kind of have mental price targets, but that's how you kind of know the difference and you can size accordingly. And last but not least, stage 3, inefficiency check. This is the edge. The core questions you should be asking yourself is, has crypto Twitter caught on yet or am I early? Is this lagging behind similar coins that have already pumped? And number 3, are insiders or respected wallets loading in? If yes, this is a mispriced window, and that's how you actually catch these 10x's, 50x's, and 100x's before the herd. So before I head into some case studies and examples, I'm gonna again go into scaling and exits. So if you're a beginner, maybe do 0.2 to 1 SOL per ad. If you're a little bit advanced, you can do 3 to 5 SOL per ad, and only add more if data confirms. If your thesis is probably gonna play out, there's catalysts, and there's social traction, etc. Taking profits. Rule 1 is to trim into expansion. Take your initial investment out on the first clean pump. Guys, you're not going to hit 100x's on every single trade. Rule 2 is if the thesis remains strong, leave a runner to capture further upside. And number 3, de-risking signals. These are some warning signs. If the top holder percent is crazy high, or if the bundle starts selling, then that might be signs that the coin's going to top out and you should probably sell and de-risk. Now I'm going to go over the play that made my group and I $12.6 million and where I personally also made $4 million. I'm going to break down this trade, Trump coin, using the alpha filter. So step 1 is market condition check. Volume was high. Solana was near all-time high with tons of volume in new pairs. The sentiment was bullish. Meme coins looked ready to explode, allowing for higher risk on plays. And also, the narrative was an open field. There was no single dominant meta, meaning there was a strong news story that can take over completely. And step 2, narrative valuation. The story was it was the most popular man in the world, launching an official coin. Reach and ceiling, guaranteed global visibility with a super high ceiling. It had potential to overtake WIF, which was one of the highest meme coins at the time, almost $5 billion market cap. And the shelf life would last as long as the narrative was fueled by media and mentions. So as long as Trump kept shilling it, it would keep going up. And step number 3 is identifying inefficiency. The entry was I caught it at 500 million market cap. And the thesis was a coin from a figure with this much influence was severely undervalued and was destined for a multi-billion-dollar valuation. And I caught it in my group live, guys. And it was all thanks to having a good group of traders around me and also Twitter and wallet trackers. So as you can see, moonshot listing, I was notified of that. Ager News and a bunch of news channels were saying that Trump launched a coin, and we scanned it at 500 million market cap. If I didn't have the alpha filter in mind, I wouldn't have as much conviction going into this trade in the first place. And even if I had, I wouldn't have the structure in place to capitalize on this opportunity. And that's what led to a $12.6 million group profit.
Remember guys, as a trencher, you're always on the lookout for new opportunities and new plays, whether it's a new pair trench play that you want to hit a scalp on, or if it's a higher conviction play that you want to size in on. That's why having the right group is so important. I own the most exclusive trading group in the meme coin space where we've been able to generate over 9 figures in profit over the past year. For example, Trump, where we've made over $12.6 million on, which was 151x from our initial scan, or Kita, which was an 120x where we made $5.1 million on, Yeezy, where I've made $1.1 million on myself, or even Anon, which we made $1.6 million on, which is a 218x. One of my students, Bowen, actually hit his first 6-figure play on this play alone. And the list goes on, guys. So if you want to try joining the Fortune Inner Circle, the link is in the description below.
And on top of that, I always recommend journaling. And the 5 journal prompts I use after every single session is why did I enter, what was the narrative and volume context, why did I exit, and what could I do better next time? Even if I made money on the trade, what could I do better? Because I'm a perfectionist, right? And that's what you should think like too. And did this trade fit the current meta or was I forcing it? Compounding isn't just in your P&L, it's in your process memory. And I can't stress this enough, guys. Memes are 90% mental game, and the mindset that actually pays is to detach from dollar signs. FOMO is the tax because I know a lot of people personally that try to keep following into trades, keep trying to get into new coins, and they just blow their portfolios because of it. Miss the play? Good. It doesn't matter. Another bust is always coming. Plan the trade, define your exit and entry, and invalidation points before you enter. And always cut decisively. No, maybe it recovers. It either works or it doesn't, guys. I don't know what is so hard to understand. It either works or doesn't. Are there catalysts? Is your thesis invalidated? Don't marry these coins. These coins are fucking worthless. Confidence is not ego, guys. Confidence is following your system. Ego is revenge trading. And if you implement nothing else from this video, I just want you to do this. Cut your losers quickly. It's okay to take some losses and journal your trades. The result would be this alone would flip most traders from bleeding to break even to green traders. Common doubts and the reality. Some people might say these filters look too strict, and my answer to that is good. Strict reduces decisions, right? Decisions introduce hesitation, and hesitation costs you fills. Another thing you guys might say, what about the one that runs after I exit? My answer is let it. We're not here to impress strangers. We're here to just simply compound wins and make money. Remember that coin trader that I went on about? I literally papered and fumbled $250,000. You think I'm crying and beating myself over it? No, I literally continued and made $30,000 that same exact day when CCM was hot. And then you might say, I don't have enough time to watch all day. Then simplify your trading process. Journal, restrict yourself to 2 windows, and hunt for one good play. Use the alpha filter. So my motto of this video is one good trade a day keeps the 9 to 5 away. For the most part, at least. And I'll make it even simpler for you guys. I made a 7-day implementation plan. So from setup to edge in 1 week. Day 1 to day 2, setup and observation. I want you guys to set the Axiom presets. Slippage 30 to 50%, priority and bribe 0.03 to 0.05, and rev protection on. Build your filters. Create your own custom trending and pulse filters. Dock the trackers. Add Twitter and wallet trackers to your layout. I gave you mine, and you can keep adding on to it. Observe. Add 3 to 5 smart wallets to your tracker and watch their moves. Day 3 to 4, practice scalping and actually execute on what I taught you, okay? Perform 3 small scalps per day, 0.15 to 1 sol for beginners. I don't even care if it's even less than that. It could be 0.01. I don't care, but I want you to practice in motion. Filter. Only take trades that meet your trending tab thresholds. And also, journal. Document every single trade using the 5 prompts. In day 5 to 6, I want you to try to execute an alpha filter play. Run the system, perform a market scan, pick a meta, and make a single conviction entry. Scale smart. Only add to your position if on-chain signals confirm your thesis. And always manage risk. Rotate profits to your vault. Keep your main wallet capped at X amount of sol. It could be 10 sol, it can be 50 sol, it can be 100 sol, but I always want you to take profit. In the last day of the week, review and refine. Review journals. Read through all your trade logs from the week. Identify A+ setups. Find the trades that felt obvious and paid quickly. And plan for next week. Your mission is to double down only on those A-tier setups. So guys, I gave you 2 strategies. Ruthless scalping and the alpha filter. Ruthless scalping to harvest those short-lived attention bursts for consistent cash flow. The alpha filter to catch narrative repricings before the crowd for massive multipliers. I just want to say, guys, you don't need to be a genius at the end of the day. You just need filters to eliminate 99% of the noise and presets for flawless high-speed execution and discipline to do the same boring but profitable things every single day.
If you want to run this live with me in a room full of killers that actually don't farm you for exit liquidity and actually trade, apply to Fortune in the link in the description. We scan together, call real-time plays, and review trades before they go viral. So if you're serious, I'll see you in the inside.